Freedom for Jose Daniel Ferrer Garcia, now a victim of kidnapping and torture in the communist regime of Cuba. We want him freed, plus all the rest of the political prisoners that are incarcerated in those hellish, nightmarish cells of Cuba, plus all the political prisoners of Venezuela also include. God bless. God bless you, Donald Trump, and I hope you could do something for them. Here, once again, I'm pleading for these political prisoners. This hero, Jose Daniel Ferrer, and all the rest of the political prisoners, including those in Venezuela also, should be freed. Let's see what can happen. Communism kills, and that's what Bernie Sanders, who's been elected for the nomination to direct and preside over the Democrat Party. People just don't want to learn. They are requesting, the liberals are requesting for all of us, for them and all of us, a nightmarish hell which will destroy this nation. Well, let's go with the news for today. Well, once again, proof Democrats are our nation's number one enemy. Listen to this. Obama judge orders Iraqi interpreters to be brought to the U.S. Interpreters have included rapists and ISIS members. Can you believe this? This American judge right here, this female American news, and as usual, it's Obama and Clinton judges at the center of it. And there are some of the unusual judicial suspect pulling this same coup over and over again, like Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and Nadler, and this other guy. I've got his name right now. At the head of the class is Judge Chutkan, an Obama appointee whom some conservatives remember for her role in the Arwen case, but really, she's been a standout on immigration issues. What kind of a mind? What kind of a mind? Because she can't be stupid if she's a judge. What kind of a twisted, degenerate mind can want people from these hellish, satanic movements to come over here and be part of our nation as interpreters? You know, you just can't conceive the idea. What's happening? What are they teaching? What kind of a mind is this? What kind of a mind this lady has? They have chosen the devil, to follow the devil instead of God. That's what it is all about. These are evil geniuses. Well, maybe not geniuses, but evil, intelligent minds, which are just degenerates. Can't figure out what another word to say. And now the Obama judge has another doozy. A federal judge this week ordered the Trump administration to end visa processing delays for hundreds of Afghan and Iraqi nationals who work for the U.S. forces, giving the government 30 days to propose a plan to end backlogs that have kept many waiting more than 4 years to enter the United States while facing persecution and death threats. Well, now that's a different story. But if it include ISIS and Muslim terrorists, you know, I'm against it. But if it's Catholic religious persons who are being persecuted, or people who are against terrorism, you know, that's a different story. The ruling Wednesday by U.S. District Judge Tanya S. Chutkan of Washington, D.C. granted class action status to all applicants whose visa requests have been pending for more than 9 months. a deadline set by statute, and follow a September opinion in which the judge called the government's justification for delays tortured and unsustainable. Now that I'm against, because they have to be vetted. Can you just let anybody come in here? If that's her intention of including people from ISIS and another terrorist group, I'm against that. We have to see what kind of people it is. It's just people who are trying to deceive us, making us believe they're being persecuted just to come into the United States and destroy us and kill us and murder us en masse. That's gotta be investigated. It's not like she wants to, hey, and she doesn't care. Let's see what happens. Sometimes I just can't stay. I can't. It's like Michael Savage says, liberalism is a mental disorder, and it is. It's a mental, degenerate, twisted, and hellish disorder, and criminal and deadly. Look what this ex-jihadist says. Former member of Al-Qaeda says, there is no such thing as a rehabilitated jihadist. This is a former member. I've been pointing out for years that de-radicalization programs are an abysmal failure everywhere they have been implemented, from the Jihad Watch archives. Well, this is from the Jihad Watch archives. UK London jihadi stabbed man at the radicalization event. Victim's father hopes killing won't be used as a pretext. Even the father defending the jihadists. Gitmo prisoner reveals Saudi de-radicalization program is really a jihad training program. 11 ex-Gitmo prisoners flee the Saudi rehabilitation program and join up with terrorist group. Jaw dropper, 25 former Gitmo detainees returned to militancy despite Saudi rehab program. Graduate from Saudi jihadi rehab program killed in Syrian jihad. Killed a large number of Christians before his acceptance by God. Flight 253 jihadists wasn't cured by jihadi anti-jihad art therapy. Former Guantanamo detainee, now top Al-Qaeda ideologue. He was transferred to Saudi Arabia in 2006, where he was placed in a national rehabilitation project. Indonesian government admits that its jihadist rehab program is a failure. Malaysia, Muslim cleric active in the radicalization program promotes hatred of non-Muslims. France's only jihadi, the radicalization center, is closing. It was voluntary and it was empty. Australia, multi-million-dollar taxpayer-funded the radicalization helpline, failing to gain traction. The whole premise of the radicalization is that Islam is a religion of peace that jihadists misunderstood this. A religion of peace that jihadists misunderstand, twist, and hijack. Since that is a false premise, and warfare against the unbelievers is actually taught in the Quran and Sunnah, the radicalization focuses on other issues, such as anger issues that the jihadi may have, this feeling of alienation, and the like. But since none of the changes what the Quran and Sunnah may have about warfare against unbelievers, it doesn't really de-radicalize the jihadi at all. You heard this? But since none of that changes what the Quran and Sunnah may say about warfare against unbelievers, it doesn't de-radicalize the jihadi at all. This is the ex-jihadi who is denouncing and making that claim. Manchester jihad mass murder used government benefits to buy bomb parts. And they're doing the same thing here in the United States. They're not here to assimilate. They come here, they go into welfare, and what they want to do is just supply themselves with all artifacts to commit mass murder. That's what they're doing. Thanks to Obama, there's a lot of them are here. A lot of them. Many of them, thousands of them. I would say millions. Because he flooded our country with millions of this terrorist ideology. Non-Muslim paying for the upkeep of Muslims is a Quranic dictate. Fight those who believe not in Allah, nor the last day, nor hold that forbidden which hath been forbidden by Allah and His Messenger, nor knowledge of the religion of truth, even if they are of the people of the book, until they pay the jizya. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, which is a kind of a tax, with willing submission and feel themselves subdued. Let me see what it was erased on my page. I had a 1952 law that prohibited these people from being in the United States. It should be reimposed. Now look at hear this one. Afghanistan. Muslims shoot female athlete dog. They said I was a girl and I have no right to keep dogs. That's what they claim. Since she was a girl, she had no right to keep the dogs. So they shot the dog, this athletic dog. There's a photo here. She's crying over the dog they just killed. A dog they killed. There's the dog dead. And the girl crying over her pet, athlete pet. And they want to do the same thing here. All of you who have pets, they want to do the same thing. It's no different. They don't come here to assimilate, to believe in our God, the true God of Israel, the God of the Old and New Testament. But when it comes to these people, I believe in the Old Testament. I believe in the Old Testament. They should be wiped out. Want to call me racist? Okay. But I would be safe as a racist against these people. It's only against these people who hate Israel, want to annihilate Israel, and want to annihilate America. So you want to call me racist? Okay. I am a racist against these people. Not against any other, not against race. Just against these kind of people who support terror. Judicial Watch sues FBI for theft-rich documents as they were caught lying to courts. The guy on the bottom is Seth Rich. Please excuse me if I'm not pronouncing it right. This is the guy who, according to, I don't know if it was him, I think it was him, who according to the Obama era, I think it was in the Obama era. No, I think it was in the Bill Clinton era. No, I don't remember, was it Bill Clinton era or at the Obama era? I got a feeling it was in the Obama era, where they found this guy who said that he committed suicide because he had a case against or documents or something against Hillary Clinton, and they found he committed suicide by shooting himself twice in the back of the head. Can you believe that? A person shooting himself twice in the back of the head. First of all, it's almost impossible. And the other one, with one shot is sufficient. But you know that there's liberals who believe it. You got you got liberals who believe the crap that are coming out of the mouth of the Democrat investigators who were in charge of this case. Cambridge academic says human race must become extinct to save the planet. This lady, this this nose earring, the range lady. Look at her. She looks like some kind of a witch cult. I call it a follower. These are the supporters of Bernie Sanders, the communist who wants to establish the gulags here in the United States and bread lines. Can you believe that? Bread lines, like the same bread lines that's in Cuba, the same bread lines in Venezuela. Oh, and that's not including the gasoline lines too, because there are also a lot of gasoline lines. People waiting for gasoline where there isn't any gasoline. In Cuba, they want to sell you cars where there's no money to buy the cars. There's no gasoline to operate the cars. It's the same situation. Who's going to produce the gasoline? Who's going to produce the cars there? They got to be imported. And if the United States falls, where they're going to send the cars from? Because the industries are going to go bankrupt. Because Bernie Sanders is going to impose a tax of I think over 95% or more, which is to destroy production. So what you're going to do? Where you going to get a car from? Are you going to build one? Out of what material? Because the materials aren't available. If there's no factory, there's no auto part, there's no metal companies where you can buy the metal to build the car because they've gone bankrupt. Where are you going to get the metal? Where are you going to get the material to create a car? From whom? Where? Bernie Sanders is going to build it for you? That lazy bum? Alabama Democrats introduces legislation mandating vasectomies for men at age 50 or after third child. Just like in communism, communist China. They don't want you to have more than one kid. No. That's communism for you. These are communists. The people that are proposing that are communists. So if you believe in communism, well, vote for them. They're going to control you too. Violent leftists arrested for slapping 15-year-old Trump supporter in the face and fracturing another man's jaw for wearing MAGA hats at New Hampshire polling site. That's this pearl here. Look at this pearl. That's a Bernie Sanders supporter. It's got to be, because with a face like that, it can't be otherwise. These are communists who don't want you to think. You don't want to respect your right to think or anything. They hate America. They hate to see a hat that says, "Make America Great Again." Joe Biden bombs on The View, says his crackhead son. You hear this? Look. Says his Biden says his crackhead son Hunter has done nothing but good things his whole life. A guy who was dishonorably discharged from the Navy, thrown out of the Navy. Let's see if there's a video. Let's see if there's a video, because a video talks a thousand words. Let me see. Oh, there's a video here.
You're right there, you know. And people wanted really to see you mad when Trump started, when Obama was the target more than you. But now you're right there, you know. And people wanted really to see you get mad when Trump started lying about Hunter and saying things about Hunter. I don't know that you got mad enough.
Well, you know, I would like to be able to be back in high school and just have he and I in a room.
I know.
But all kidding aside, here's the deal. Look,
You wouldn't last a minute.
It is hurtful, particularly when guys like Lindsey Graham, who's a friend of mine, do these things.
He's still a friend?
Well, you know, look, presidents can't. I plan on being president. Presidents can't hold grudges. You got to heal. We got to heal the country, and I just don't.
Like you who want to fight Trump.
Get into the mood of, like, for example, people say, "Well, why don't I?"
Well, defend your son who's a crackhead.
That's not how we were raised, and look, nobody.
You weren't raised to have your son be a crackhead.
This is a guy who has done nothing but good things his whole life. My son, and
like smoke crack.
Program USA, a whole range of things. But
maybe sell it too.
What it is, we knew it was going to be ugly. A quick story: we got a phone call.
This guy's. Another Bernie brought arrested on burglary, vandalism, attempted arson, charges after attacking GOP office in Northern California. Another pearl, another communist pearl. Support of Bernie Sanders. Let's see if there's a video here too, because there's a couple of photos, but I would like to see a video of him vandalizing. Oh yeah, there is a video. Oh wow. Look at this pearl. A Bernie Sanders supporter vandalizing. Those are the supporters of, those are the communist supporters. Let me see this. There might be another one, because I think there was a couple of them here. Besides that video I just finished showing you, I think there was another one. Let me see if I can get another one here. Oh yeah, there is. Yeah, but I wanted to show you the one where it's in color, but it doesn't show the one in color. Let me see if this one shows the one in color.
There it is. There it is. Oh. There it is. There it is.
Oh, jeez.
There it is. There it is. Oh. There it is. There it is. Oh.
The guy is destroying them. That's what the communists do, destroy. That's what they do. There's a couple of photos. Let me show you the photos here. There's three photos. I want everybody to see this one, where they show the damage done to the GOP office. Oh. Okay, well, I can't put the three of them. Well, let me put one at a time here. That's one of them. Okay, that's one of them. There goes another one of them. You can see the windows are broken. And there goes the other one. More damages. You can see on the bottom. That's all the communists do. That's all they're good at for sabotaging. Sabotaging and destroying. Now I got another pearl. Another pearl. Ilhan Omar. Bill would let Congress restrict. Ilhan Omar bill would let Congress restrict president's power on sanctions, national emergencies. She is an enemy, and she should be deported. Why she hasn't been deported with all the cases she got against her? I can't understand. I just can't understand why she's not arrested and deported. But that's justice for us. I know if I would have done something like that, I would have been arrested. I would have lost my house. I would have lost my family, just like what happened to Mike Flynn and Roger Stones. Lost everything. They lost everything, even though they're innocent, both of them. But that's all the Democrats do. They persecute or imprison the innocent, but they get away with murder. And they know it. And nothing is done to them. Nothing. I haven't seen nothing. I haven't seen one of them arrested. Avenatti was the only one. But who's Avenatti compared to all the crimes Hillary has committed and this one has committed, Ilhan Omar and some of the other ones? Adam Schiff, another one. I forgot that name today. Adam Schiff is another one. Nadler. And many others. Chuck Schumer. Joe Biden, his son. Pelosi and her son. All of them, the criminals. It's a criminal syndicate. Bernie Sanders praised food lines, communism, and socialism. This pearl. He wants the same thing that Joseph Stalin, Mao Zedong, Pol Pot, Kim Jong Elder, Fidel Castro, Nicolas Maduro, starting with Hugo Chavez, then now Nicolas Maduro, Daniel Ortega. What they all want, what they all did, that's what he wants for you. He wants the same thing. He wants you to do bread lines. He wants you to live on a salary, let's say a doctor to live on a salary of $26 a month. That's not including the regular people, maybe like a salary, basic salary of, if you're lucky enough, of $17 a month. Veterans that are pensioned, $3 like in Cuba. $3 a month. What can you do with $3 a month? All you communist supporters who want to live on free stuff, instead of working, winning a pension, and retiring with a good pension after working all your life, that you're going to receive, you're willing to take a cut and receive, like, if you're maybe $10 a month. Some people in Cuba, that's all the pensioners in Cuba. You know that in Cuba, the pensioners, they receive $4 a month. The veterans who fought in Angola, Raul Castro decided to take $1 away from their pension, and now they receive $3 a month. So you want that? That's the kind of lifestyle you want? Where your family members, or maybe even you, can die because there's no medication? Or die of hunger because there's no food? Because who's going to produce the food after Bernie Sanders destroys everything? Because that's what he wants. He wants the same thing. Who's going to produce when everything goes bankrupt? Who's going to create the food, like Kellogg's food, General Foods, this Tyson chickens? Who's going to create all that? Hershey bars, Lay's product, Pepsi Cola, all the beers, Miller High Life, Budweiser. Who's going to produce all that once they're gone? Because Bernie Sanders plans to destroy all that. He's going to expropriate it, or he's going to tax them to death, because he's proposing a 95% tax. No industry can survive on that. Nobody. What they'll do is just close down and leave. Where? To Argentina, to Brazil or something, or Israel? And Bernie's planning to destroy Israel, defund Israel. So where we're going to flee to? I don't know, Australia? You know, you better think about it before you make a vote. A vote is very crucial. You know, a lot of these young guys are saying that Bernie Sanders is a nice guy. He's not a nice guy. He has the instinct of a mass murderer, because he's proposing the same thing that killed millions, over 20 millions of people in the ex-Soviet Union. And it was 60 million, if I'm not mistaken, my mind doesn't fail me, 60 million in China with Mao Zedong. And Pol Pot, 2 million. And Latin America, over 150,000. Maybe even more, because those are numbers that are old numbers. But we have to find out the new numbers now, because there's more people dying because lack of there's no medicine. These companies that would produce the medicine are gone. There's not even gasoline anymore. A country that used to be a world economic power. Cuba used to be an economic booming island. We call it a nation because it's a big island. Destroyed by communism. All that is gone. So what are you going to do? You liberals who want to vote for a person who's proposing the same hellish nightmare, like Bernie Sanders. Where are you going to go? Are you going to plead to him? The guy is evil. He is the impersonator of Satan, or at least part of his legion. The guy is proposing the same murderous precept. He will kill you. Just remember that. If you make the mistake and you won't listen, it will kill you. His proposal will definitely annihilate millions of us. They're already saying it. Even one of his staff members saying that they're proposing to reinstate gulags. The same gulags in the United States that kill millions, a million frozen to death, frozen of hunger, starvation, torture, and murder. And you want that, huh? You want that. You know, you should see some movies. There's some movies about that. There was this movie about this one guy who went. I think he was a boxer or something. He won a prize fight and then left for I'm not sure about it because I saw the movie years ago. I haven't seen it again. I wish I could find it and put it down here on my blogs so you can see the movie. Watch the movie. This movie. Watch movies on communism. It'll probably show up about this guy who left to Russia and had to flee Russia. He escaped Russia. I wish you could see that. It was a hellish nightmare. Or watch Dr. Zhivago. You don't have to go too far. You can watch Dr. Zhivago. See how this doctor ended up losing all his property, his mansion, under communism. Watch all that. There's movies. There's even a movie about Stalin with Robert Duvall. Watch that movie too. Watch that movie. Maybe it'll waken you up. Maybe not, because people just won't listen. It goes through one ear and comes out the other. Look what happened to Venezuela. Even the Cubans in exile told the Venezuelans, Hugo Chavez, before Hugo Chavez died, they said, Hugo Chavez is a communist. And you know what they would say? They say the Cubans were Spanish crap eaters. It sounds a lot different in Spanish when you say it. It sounds pretty nasty. But if it was translated, then it would be crap eaters. You guys are crap eaters. And look at now. Now they're basically eating crap over there because there's no food. You hear people going into the trash cans to get food. In Cuba and Venezuela. Cuba, which has been under communism for over 61 years. Now it's been Venezuela's turn for not listening. You see people going into the trash cans, grabbing anything they can get to eat. From trash cans, food that is spoiled and everything. They'll eat anything. Maybe food that's been spit on, who knows what kind of disease, what kind of bacteria, they'll eat it. To put something into their tummy. And you want that to happen to you? You want to do that? Or you want to have to go eat, hunt down rats and eat rodents? Well, there's a lot of them in the subways in New York. You want to do that? It'll be hunting season. A lot of people going down the trains that they're not run over by a train. Who knows? Maybe the trains will break down too, like what's happening in Venezuela. Transportation system is breaking apart. I hope they can free Roger Stone, and it's terrible. It's very sad to see that an innocent man goes to prison just because he forgot a date or something. They accuse him of a whole bunch of stuff. An old man who's over 70 years old. God help us. God help us, because we're not learning nothing. Well, this is it. I think that I had something else here, but I just can't. Well, that was it. Oh, wait a minute. There was something about a short film of let me see if I can get it here right away. I want to show a short film here about this is a short film that I copied here. Let me see if it's this one. No, it's not this one here. Oh, I can't find it here. Let me go here. Okay, I got the film here. It's a short film. It's about the gulags.
of Soviet citizens were killed during Stalin's terror regime. The new Gulag Museum in Moscow tells some of their stories. They're the kind of accounts that aren't welcome in Putin's Russia, because they tarnish the shining image of Russia's past that people are so keen to promote.
Есть мои сверстники, и прям люди
Even my friends, young people, are asking, why are you doing this? This is about criminals. When I hear that, I think they're exactly the kind of people who need this museum.
Мне как бы вот появилось ощущение, что именно для них мы должны это создать музей.
You won't find Vasily revenge. Nastya Tarasova says he was killed in the Gulag 3 months after his arrest in 1937. Photographs and archive records have helped Nastya piece together part of his story, but she won't find any personal documents from her family in the new Gulag Museum.
То, в чем я существую, это такое...
There's a big memory gap in my family history. Until now, it's been filled with stories passed down from generation to generation. But I want the real documents, so I don't drift into some fantasy world of speculation about my family.
Nastya is not alone. Most of Stalin's victims were never rehabilitated. The new Gulag Museum doesn't do much to change that. Its interactive exhibits do deal with more recent Soviet history and highlight the Communist Party's responsibility. But the role of Joseph Stalin as a perpetrator is not clearly addressed, and neither is that of the repressive Soviet regime that up to the 1960s sent many of its citizens to labor camps.
By focusing on the Stalin period, the museum doesn't, however, include the persecution of dissidents after Stalin's death, the tragic inheritance of the Soviet dictator. Under President Putin's rule, Russian officials have been trying to downplay Stalin's crimes, focusing more on Stalin's role in the Soviet World War II victory over Nazi Germany.
Perhaps it's unrealistic to expect anything different amid this backdrop of new Russian patriotism. These are times when, once again, anyone questioning the status quo risks being punished.
There's even better videos which last longer and it's more complete. But I can't just bend over here. I have to learn how to edit. I got a bad problem, a real terrible problem here in trying to edit because I just can't find a way to do it. And I don't want to pay any more money. I had to get a new computer because the one that I had, the old MacBook Air that I had, wasn't good enough. It died on me anyway, and I got me a pretty good computer now. But I want to try to learn how to edit, but it hasn't been easy. There's a way of doing some editing, which I understand how to do it on iMovie by Apple. But I need this other ways that I want to try to get to edit these movies, and without having to do it the way I'm doing it, because it doesn't look professional. But I just have no other way. So in the meantime, I'm going to try to learn some way or another because I'm determined to do it. Because, like I said, there's more videos, even better than the one I just finished showing you, which is more detailed on the bloody history of the ex-Soviet Union by Stalin, the Reign of Terror, and of Mao Zedong's Reign of Terror, and Pol Pot, and all these other criminals, and including Fidel Castro, and now Venezuela. There's a lot of stories to show, movies, and that story, true videos on what's happened and what's happening. So you can wake up and know the reality of what communism is all about and what Bernie Sanders is planning for you. This guy's a criminal-minded nightmare from hell. And that's what he'll impose on you if he ever won, God forbid. So God bless you. Like I always say, I pray for Donald Trump. I pray for Israel every day when I remember, almost every day. including for Cuba, for these political prisoners down in prison in Cuba and in Venezuela. I also pray for them for their release, for Jose Daniel Ferrer Garcia. And I pray for Donald Trump every day too. Donald Trump, God bless you. God bless you for all you're doing. You're the greatest. I hope you can keep up the good work, but there's more work that has to be done, like having a DOJ who can arrest, with the power to arrest these criminals in the DNC, which need to be, or like these terrorists inside the Senate or Congress, like Ilhan Omar and Tlaib, who should be deported. All of them should be deported. These mosques, which are only centers of terrorism, should be closed down. What the hell are they doing here? They're not a religion of peace. They're an organization of murder. They're proposing and injecting these hatred inside these mosques, and requesting that we've been being murdered in mass. They want to commit mass murder. God forbid that another Obama, like Bernie Sanders, comes to power, because that's what they'll impose with the help of these terrorists. So Trump, there's more that has to be done. We just can't sit down and ignore this. We got criminals in the Senate. We got criminals. These people are terrible, and they want to ruin us. God bless all of you. Until the next time, bye-bye.